Good morning. My name is Dr. Jane Ponterio, and I am the Dean of Students for the School of Medicine. It is my pleasure to serve as the Master of Ceremony for our 27th Annual White Coat Ceremony. Please take a moment now to ensure that your cell phones are silenced, and note that the program for this event is available virtually by scanning the QR code on your ticket. Cell phone silence, please. Please try to refrain from talking during the ceremony. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Edward Halpern, Chancellor and CEO of New York Medical College, Dr. Alan Kadish, President of Touro University and New York Medical College, Rabbi Moshe Krupka, Executive Vice President of Touro University, Dr. Neil Schluger, Dean of the School of Medicine, all the administration, associate deans, house advisory deans, department chairs, faculty, alumni association, marshals, and staff here today, and those working in hospitals with their patients who couldn't be here today. I want to welcome all of you, the wonderful class of 2027, and your family and friends to this wonderful white coat ceremony. There are many individuals who take on the planning and execution of this milestone event, which, as you know, is taking place at the end of a very busy week. Our Transition to Medical School Orientation Program, with close to 40 sessions and 6 events. Many of you have already met Mr. Jonathan Pesolano, our Director of Student Affairs, during the week, who is here today, and are now familiar with his awesome skill he displayed this week in handling both the routine situations as well as the unexpected and tricky ones. Please join me today in expressing my deep appreciation to Jonathan and the staff of the Office of Student Affairs, as well as Faye Seltzer from the Dean's Office for her help and great attention to detail, Dean Tony Sozo for all his help and logistics, all our colleagues from IT, and all the others who are responsible for everything that got us to this point today. They all truly went above and beyond to organize and make this event possible. Let's please give them a round of applause. For the families, partners, and friends of the students, the support you have given and provided this far and will continue far into the future, I'm sure, is incredibly important. You have been a very critical part of their journey to medical school, and I want to thank you on their behalf. Class of 2027, please join me in acknowledging this support of these super important people. The White Coat ceremony began in 1993 with a physician named Dr. Arnold P. Gold. One of the pins the students were given to wear on their lapel today are from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. I'm so sorry. As you know, the Hippocratic Oath is often recited upon graduation from medical school. Dr. Gold initiated the White Coat ceremony to make a point to emphasize both professionalism and humanism in medicine at the beginning of medical school. Today, we are celebrating the 27th anniversary of this ceremony at New York Medical College. Students, donning your white coat for the first time is a symbol of your welcome to the profession, your commitment to future patients, and the value of the human side of medicine. Soon, when your investor helps you don your white coat, you will make the commitment to the ideals of compassionate care that you have collectively written about in your oath and that you will recite later in the presence of your family and faculty. So it is our sincere hope and expectation that from this day forward, each and every time you don your white coat, During both times of tough challenges and great joy, you will stay loyal to the pledge you will take today. Thank you. I welcome Rabbi Moshe Krupka, Executive Vice President of Touro University, who will offer the invocation this morning. I will ask you to stand and remain standing for the Arrhythmia's performance as well. Please stand.
Good morning. Please join me in a moment of reflection in celebration of this incredible event. Avinu Shebashamayim, our Heavenly Father, bless all those who have assembled here today to rejoice in this white coat ceremony of New York Medical College, the class of 2027. Almighty God, Rafei Chol Basar Umafli La'asos, you are the healer of all flesh, wondrous in your acts. You have instructed and empowered humanity to cure the ill and provide comfort and aid to all of your children. We and all who are involved in this venerated citadel of medical education here in Valhalla are your agents in your divine work of healing. May your abundant blessings always be showered on those who enter the halls of this institution. May you give strength, courage, and fortitude to the men and women who are beginning their professional training. Grant them the wisdom and the strength to heal the sick, to strengthen the weak, and to uplift those in despair. As we gather as an academic community and as an extended family, we ask you to bless this celebration and to smile upon the past achievements and the future potential of these men and women who have worked so diligently, who have accomplished so much, and who have so much more to offer. And dear God, we ask that you shower your blessings upon the families of these students, parents, spouses, children, and other dear ones who have been there for support and encouragement and have sacrificed so much so that these medical students can persevere and succeed. Today, we usher these wonderful students into their formal medical education. And in addition, we welcome our new dean, our new talented and outstanding leader at New York Medical College's School of Medicine. There is so much of exciting things that are happening here at NYMC. Rabbono Shalom, Master of the Universe, we seek your blessing and sustaining support for the administration, faculty, and students. Grant us the wisdom, the resolve, and the fortitude to continue our noble mission, our mission to serve, strengthen, and improve your world, dear God, your world with its rich diversity and ever-increasing potential for good. We ask for your continued siyata d'shmaya, divine guidance, so that we together can achieve that great potential. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Krupka. Remain standing for the national anthem. Invite the Arrhythmias to the stage.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Then the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Please be seated. Thank you, arrhythmias. That was beautiful. I would now like to introduce Dr. Alan Kadish, President of Touro University and New York Medical College, to deliver his welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ponterio. On behalf of New York Medical College, Touro University, and Chancellor Edward Halpern, who couldn't be here today, I want to welcome all the guests, faculty, administration, of course, most importantly, the students, to this white coat ceremony. I want to echo Dr. Ponterio's remarks about the importance of family, friends, and supporters. Getting into New York Medical College is not a trivial process, and I'm sure that all of you sitting in the audience today helped our students along the way. Those personal and professional challenges don't disappear upon acceptance to medical school, and your being here today indicates your commitment to continue to support our students as they make it through the next 4 years, as we're confident they all will. So welcome to each of you, and thanks so much for your support. I also want to acknowledge the student doctors from more advanced classes who are here today, and you'll hear from some of them in the future. And finally, welcome to our Dean-elect, Dr. Neil Schluger, who has already started working, even though he told me he officially doesn't begin until August 15th. Welcome, Dr. Schluger. As you heard, the white coat ceremony is only 22 years old, and except for those of you who are sitting way, way back, you probably recognize that I didn't have a white coat ceremony. But what did happen was we were simply thrust into patient care and thrust into this uniform, which is what the white coat is. The uniform of someone recognized as delivering care to patients. And I think the white coat ceremony has really done an important job of preparing students practically and psychologically for the fact that even as student doctors, even as first-year students in their limited clinical experiences, they're now charged with people's health and people's lives. And that's why today's ceremony is so important. At the time that I began seeing patients, in some ways the world was a much simpler place. Of course, medicine was not as advanced, and the problems of equality and bias that existed in society hadn't reached the forefront the way they have today. It seemed like there were more common values and less rancor. Students today have lived through some difficult times and lived through a time when in some ways our country seems more divided than it has been, at least in the period that I can remember post the Civil War. No individual can solve society's problems on her or his own, and we certainly encourage our students to continue to work for what they feel is right as citizens, as representatives of their communities, and as Americans. But the white coat creates another sense of responsibility. As physicians or student doctors, we're in a unique position. We have a relationship with patients that transcends politics, it transcends religion, and it transcends our beliefs and what divides us. We have both an opportunity and an obligation to ignore those differences and to take care of our patients as individuals, as human beings, without bias, without prejudice, and with an obligation to treat everyone in the best possible way that we can. And that's what this uniform that you'll get today, that's what the white coat designates. The notion that a physician has distinct ethical responsibilities existed long before current times. In Jewish history, a physician's duty to heal is paralleled by the duty to tend to one's own health. Indeed, the Talmud, written over 1,500 years ago, notes it's not legal to live in a city without a physician. That's how important physicians were thought to be to the fabric of society, even at a time when medical care was rudimentary. Maimonides, the outstanding 12th century philosopher, viewed the provision of medical care as part of giving back something that had been lost to sickness on the part of human beings. In the 19th century, a series of ethical principles was put forth by Thomas Percival. He laid down a code of conduct of physician towards patients, which was rapidly accepted throughout the world and incorporated in the founding principles of the American Medical Association in 1847. Here at New York Medical College, we have our own rich history dating back to 1860. And it's a powerful example of the adherence to the special communal role that every physician must play. Since joining Touro University a little over a decade ago, the college has continued to pursue its mission to educate and model the values of compassion, service, and justice. And I'm confident that the current generation of students will continue those initiatives. Many of you students made great sacrifices to come here, and all of you have overcome some obstacles. We're delighted that New York Medical College and Touro University has provided you with this opportunity to gain knowledge, to gain skill, and do the important job of healing individual patients and the human race. Welcome, student doctors, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Kadish. I'm pleased to introduce Victor Gordillo and Ashley Sachs, School of Medicine class of 2024. They're going to graduate in a few short months, co-presidents of the Gold Humanism Honor Society, who will address the class of 2027.
Welcome, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2027 on this very special day. My name is Ashley Sachs, and I'm honored to address you as one of the co-presidents of New York Medical College's Gold Humanism Honor Society. I'd first like to acknowledge the family and friends that have joined us here today. Congratulations to you too. I can tell you firsthand that when I received my white coat, I was acutely aware that while I had worked so hard, I could not have done it without my own village. Your encouragement has been vital thus far, and your continued support will be crucial as this class continues on. Thank you for all that you do. This is a moment you can be proud of as well. But to the class of 2027, your drive, ambition, and desire to serve have helped you get to this point. You have worked incredibly hard to be here, and you should feel really proud of yourselves and your accomplishments. Sitting here today is such an unbelievable privilege. You will be amazed by the experiences that await you, and I hope you stay curious through it all. Whether it be learning the intricacies of human anatomy through the most hands-on way imaginable, debating current health policy with your peers during the Health Policy Roundtable, helping bring a new life into this world during your OBGYN clerkship, flying in a helicopter with the transplant team to assist with an organ procurement, or holding the hand of one of your patients as she reflects on her long and beautiful life. You will have the opportunity to learn with and from those around you, and you will use those skills to truly make a difference in the lives of others. As you embark on this journey and move through your medical school career, you will have the chance to define for yourself what it means to be a good doctor. Are you a budding surgeon working on your suture technique? Are you a future pathologist honing your histology skills? Are you going to be a pediatrician where you must practice explaining difficult concepts to those in their earliest years? What will it take for you to be a good doctor? All of the aforementioned skills will be crucial, but regardless of your final path, I hope you always prioritize being a kind, compassionate, and respectful physician, because those are traits that are intrinsic and can't be taught. The rest can be added. The saying goes, you may not remember what someone said, but you'll always remember the way they made you feel. Your patients will trust you with some of the most intimate moments of their lives, and they certainly will remember how you made them feel. I hope you always see it as an honor to be present in these moments. Medical school will also not be easy. Remember to support each other, as the people sitting next to you may now be your friends, but will very soon be your colleagues. Build each other up so that you all can be the best physicians possible. And just as I continue to rely on those who came before me for support and guidance, please feel free to always reach out, because I and my classmates will be there for you too. If I can leave you with one request, it is to please remember you 100% belong here. You have already proven that to all of us, and I hope you've proven it to yourselves as well. Never lose sight of that. Congratulations again on this incredible achievement. I hope you wear your white coats with an immense amount of pride. You deserve it. Thank you.
Wow, hello. Welcome everyone again, and congratulations to the new class and to the friends and family and mentors you had along the way. Your journey here to medical school is itself a testament to your dedication and your passion for healing. As you begin this transformative chapter, I want to share some insights and inspiration that I hope can help you navigate some of the big moments that lie ahead, building off of Ashley's very wise words. Medical school is a roller coaster, but it's also a time of immense growth and self-discovery. To me, it always felt like a tall order attempting to find my own direction while still learning anatomy, pathology, and the basic physical exam. And the truth is, for some of you, it may just click one day. But just in case that doesn't happen, it really helps to be deliberate along the way about filling in some of those big picture goals. So let's highlight now some essential aspects that can duly replenish your reserves on days where you feel too tired to remember why you wanted to be here, and to remind you to prioritize a personal journey of medicine as a vocation, part vaccine against burnout, part supplement to strengthen those growing medical minds. First, I encourage you to find your own way of creating space for self-reflection and fold it in along the way. One way for me was to use audiobooks during breaks, anything by visionary physician writers like Oliver Sacks or Atul Gawande always seemed to lift my spirits in those liminal spaces, like the train or being at the grocery store. Or take advantage of the close NYMC community. Have coffee breaks with classmates where you intentionally discuss stories or podcasts that make you feel good about medicine or not. Moments like these can serve several purposes: as a break, naturally, as revival for these desires to heal, but also as moments where you can find pearls of wisdom or expression that seem to embody who you want to be as a provider. Learning what motivates your awesome classmates will teach you as much about what matters to you as it does about them. Now, a word you will hear often in medicine moving forward, and today included, is humanism. Recognizing the aspects of the whole person you are treating is often emphasized, but the power of integrating your own humanity into your own education and future practice is equally as meaningful. For example, the more you can weave your hobbies into becoming a more complete healer, the more you will feel justified in taking that time for yourself. Positive feedback is not just for physiology, of course. This is not an assignment. Free time should not be productive almost by definition. But if you find you have a hard time justifying it, try thinking about it in this way. Personally, I wanted to learn more about street photography while in medical school, and taking a few days here and there to go and get to know strangers where they work and to speak to them and get to learn them was itself kind of good practice for learning how to ask good questions and to learn about someone in ways that augment the textbook history. My point is to feel justified to nurture your passions outside of medicine, whether it's spending time with loved ones, having fun with hobbies, or insisting on working out. These breaks will help keep you well, and they will also serve as instruction of their own kind. Lastly, using the physical exam as a final example, learning to hear an abnormal heart sound is a good analogy for being deliberate now with the things that may seem not so much a priority. One day in a few years, on rounds, you'll be thrilled to recognize a potential murmur on your own for the first time. Of course, to do so requires an understanding of the relation of that sound to the rest of the normal ones. And now suddenly, the hours spent looking at tables listing the character and positions of those sounds will find their meaning. But also for the first time, you will understand that this S3 sound can mean so much for the person in front of you and for their new reality, especially if it is as new a discovery to them as it is to you that day. Suddenly also, the personal learning and reflection will now not seem so low yield, and it's as much as used as, the testable heart sounds knowledge. My final point is that your stethoscope will help you hear, but your shared humanity with this patient in that moment will help them be heard. There is a difference. Think of times when you have been helped and go one step further to distinguish the special times where someone truly heard you before offering to help, instead of simply hearing the problem. Now that you all have a stethoscope, I hope you all remember to take the moments when you aren't practicing on your roommates to learn from your own hearts and to make them feel heard. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Pretty nice words from our students. Thank you, Victor and Ashley. I'd like to now introduce Dr. Neil Schluger, Dean of the School of Medicine, to deliver his remarks.
Still good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. I've had the pleasure of meeting many of the students and many of their families earlier in the week. I know this is an exciting time and a wonderful occasion, I think, to mark the beginning of medical education. The podium is pointed this way. My remarks are mostly directed to the students this morning, so forgive my back, but if I turn to you, I think nothing I say will be heard. The white coats that you received today are important symbols of the social contract that exists between patients and society at large. A social contract that provides us with respect, status, influence, and privilege, but which also imposes upon us important obligations and responsibilities. Now, it's a wonderful thing to be a physician. It really is. To every day go to work with the goal of helping others in some of the most direct ways possible. That alone really is reward in and of itself. But we have other privileges as well, accorded to us in that unwritten social contract. We're widely respected and given special status by society at large. Think how often you're in a group of people who are being introduced, and people are introduced as, this is Joe and Sam and Ellen and Mary and Dr. Smith. Right? Think how often you've heard that. People will ask your opinion about things having nothing to do with medicine, just because they view you as smart and highly educated. Within minutes of meeting a patient, you become privy to the most intimate, sensitive, and personal details of that person's life, details that may not be shared even with perhaps a spouse or a partner or anyone else. Society will allow you to live comfortably. Those are some of the things we get in our roles as physician, but the more important question is, what do we give? Although some of the privileges we get as physicians may come in recognition of the hard work it takes to become doctors, I think the social contract that binds us to our patients actually implies and rests upon other obligations and responsibilities, and I'd like to speak briefly about two of them. The first obligation is to always put your patients first. The medical enterprise, or as some have come to refer to it as the medical industrial complex, is huge and very complicated. And you will, at different points in your training and careers, find yourselves answering to insurance companies, pharmacy benefit managers, all sorts of administrators, regulators, evaluators, legislators, educators, litigators, and investors. Now, all of those people have important roles to play and questions to ask, but your highest obligation must always be to the needs of your patients, in your role not only as a healer, but also as an advocate for them. We can and must do things for our patients that they can't do for themselves. Please don't forget that. The second obligation relates to the fact that many patients, perhaps most, don't really choose the doctor who will take care of them. When people are sick, especially if they're very sick, they go to the closest hospital they can find or to the place the ambulance takes them. And even if they aren't acutely or seriously ill, many people live in a place where there are only a few doctors or where it might take months to get an appointment with the physician they would like to see, and so they go to the first person with an available appointment. And even if there are plenty of physicians to choose from, the reality is that most people who aren't in medicine don't have the specialized knowledge it takes to really evaluate the quality of the physicians they see, no matter how much time they spend on the internet looking things up. Think about how frightening it must be to put your life in the hands of someone whom you didn't really choose. This reality, I think, creates for us a moral imperative for excellence. We really don't have a choice to be anything other than excellent at what we do. The stakes are just too high for too many people. So these white coats that you will soon receive symbolize the hard work and specialized knowledge that characterize us as physicians. But also remember the values that they represent: the dedication to your patients above all, and the commitment to excellence that is demanded by the path we have chosen. I know you will succeed. I wish you good luck and success always. And now, I have the great pleasure, I think, of introducing someone who really represents exactly the values that I was talking about just a moment ago, Dr. Mohammed Chowdhury, who's our keynote speaker this morning. Dr. Chowdhury originally received his undergraduate medical education in his native Bangladesh, came to the United States, did his training at hospitals and medical centers affiliated with New York Medical College, and then took advanced training in surgical urology at the Roswell Park Institute in Buffalo, a leading cancer hospital in the United States. He's really spent his entire professional career at Westchester Medical Center and as a faculty member at New York Medical College. And because of his skill and talent and dedication, has risen to important positions of leadership in the school as director of the Department of Urology at Westchester Medical Center and chairman of the Department of Urology at New York Medical College. I know he's extraordinarily proud of the over 100 physicians who he has trained, who've gone on to wonderful, important careers of their own in medicine. He's been widely recognized by many professional associations in the United States, the American Urological Association and others, with many awards and other symbols of recognition. I would say, in addition, as I mentioned, that he really, I think, represents the ideals that I was talking about. Dr. Chowdhury is the kind of person we refer to among ourselves as a physician's physician. That really means two things. It means the kind of physician who, if we needed to go see a doctor, that's the person we would want to see. And that's really almost the highest praise you can have as a physician. But the second aspect of being a physician's physician is that it means it's the kind of physician we would all like to be, because he represents, as I said, the values, ideals, skill, and dedication that I think represent the highest pinnacle of our profession. So it's really my pleasure to be able to introduce Dr. Chowdhury as our keynote speaker this morning.
Thank you, Neil, for the very kind introduction. And again, congratulations on being appointed Dean. Dr. Halpern asked me to give the keynote address. I know Dr. Halpern isn't here. I want to thank him for the privilege and the honor of speaking to the class of 2027. I'd like to thank President Kadish, Rabbi Krupka, Jane Pontario, the Dean, faculty, staff, and students of New York Medical College who are here. Congratulations to the class of 2027, and a very warm thank you to the parents, grandparents, family, and friends of the class of 2027. Without your support, the class would not be here. You are the people who brought the class of 2027 to the dance, but your work is not done yet. Class of 2027 will need your continued support as they embark on this journey through medical school. I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues, staff, and administration of two great institutions I had the privilege of working for the past 40 years, Westchester Medical Center and New York Medical College. I'll briefly tell you about my life's journey and how I got here. And at the end, I'll tell you also why I brought this up. I was born in a very remote corner of Bangladesh. Even Google had sometimes difficult time finding the place. Despite very limited financial resources, my parents and 4 younger siblings had a wonderful life full of love and laughter. That all changed overnight when I was 11 and when my father died of a heart attack. There was no safety net, and we overnight became destitute. My mother, who had no formal education, but was an incredibly smart and determined woman, took charge. Even at that young age, I could see the despair in her face when she had a difficult time putting food on the table. Despite that, she was determined to educate her 5 children and send at least one of them to the medical school. As the eldest of the 5, she assigned me for medical school. I'm not sure exactly why, but that was her choice. At age 11, she found work for me, and the work was giving tutorials to the neighborhood kids who were just a year or 2 younger than me to support the family. I have not stopped working since. To send us to school, my mother sold the only asset she had at that time, a small house we lived in. In 1961, she made an arrangement with the buyer that he could pay for the house over time in monthly installments so that we could stay in the house till the payment is finished. And in the meantime, she was hoping that we'll finish our school. And she was right. If it sounds like reverse mortgage, that's what it was. But my mother came up with that without a formal education and figured this out in 1961. After I finished medical school, my mother wanted me to pursue training in the United States. I landed in JFK on July 27, 1975, with $55 in my pocket and a very heavy accent. That was my first plane ride out of the country. Eventually, I found my way to Westchester Medical Center and New York Medical College and met my mentor, Joseph Carl Adonisio, then chairman of the Department of Urology. An incredibly generous and kind man and the best mentor anybody could hope for. That is one of the things students look for a mentor right at the start. I finished my training in 1981, and 8 years later, I was appointed Director of Service and then Chair of the Department of Urology, only in America. God bless America. The only reason I bring this up, if I can make it, anybody can. And all of you can and will. Enough about me. This day is for you, the class of 2027. As you don your white coat this morning, I'm sure all of you have one goal in mind: to be the best doctor you can. And the next few minutes I will spend trying to guide you to see how you can become the best doctor you can. All of you can. In 1999, just about 25 years ago, ACGME, which is the acronym for Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education, the governing body responsible for overseeing resident and fellowship training in the United States, adopted 6 standards, which each trainee is expected to meet before they graduate. My friend Fred Behrman will certainly appreciate that. These 6 standards are considered essential elements in becoming a good physician. And these 6 standards are: 1, medical knowledge; 2, patient care; 3, professionalism; 4, interpersonal and communication skill; the 5th, practice-based learning; and the last, system-based practice. If they sound a little confusing, I will try to explain to you. In 1999, I was program director of the Department of Urology, and I distinctly remember debate among the educators about the relevance of these 6 standards in medical education. I must admit, these 6 standards have stood the test of time and has been widely adopted as the fundamental basis of medical education in the United States. In the next few minutes, I would like to briefly tell you, the class of 27, how you can apply these 6 standards and fulfill your goal of becoming a good doctor starting tomorrow. The first 2 standards are medical knowledge and patient care, and they are intertwined. Gaining outstanding medical knowledge in the next 4 years will be the cornerstone of providing state-of-the-art, high-quality medical care to your patients for the rest of your professional life. In year 1 and 2, you will be gaining knowledge in basic sciences, which will be absolutely essential when you go to year 3 and 4 to deliver clinical care. If you are not strong in basic sciences, it'll be very hard to deliver clinical care. Your institution, New York Medical College, will provide you with the necessary tools, dedicated faculty, and staff to help you achieve those goals. Use these resources and always keep in mind, excellent medical knowledge is fundamental to providing high-quality care, irrespective of the subspecialty or primary care, whatever you choose. The next 2 standards are professionalism and interpersonal skills. Again, they are interrelated. Throughout the 4 years of medical school, then as residents, and later as a physician, you will always be dealing with patients and families under stress. They are stressed because they are in pain, they are in discomfort, they are concerned about the finding in a CAT scan of a large tumor or abnormal blood test. Your professionalism and interpersonal skills, backed by your medical knowledge, and again backed by your medical knowledge, will be absolutely critical in how you navigate these difficult situations, allay the anxiety of the patient and families, and help them on their way to recovery. Class of 2027, your faculty will serve as the role model for you to learn professionalism and interpersonal skills. When we as faculty fall short, and we frequently fall short, think in your own heart how you will do better in the same situation, and please do better. The 5th standard is practice-based learning, and again, it sounds somewhat confusing, but I'll explain. Practice-based learning is the fundamental for medical knowledge. What this means, medical education is a continued lifelong learning. You, the class of 2027, must not stop learning after you finish 4 years of medical school and then the years of residency. You must continue to learn and educate yourself throughout your professional life. Otherwise, you will fall behind. Let me give you two examples, and I'm a urologist, so I'll give you examples in urology. When I trained in urology in 1970s, 100% of the kidney stones were taken care of by making a large incision in the body. Since 1980s, 100% of the stones are taken care of by minimally invasive technique without ever making an incision. Same is true for prostate cancer. We used to remove prostate for cancer by making an incision. Since 2000, 100% of the prostate for cancer are removed without ever making an incision by tiny, small incision using robotic approach. These newer techniques have improved patient care by reducing pain, reducing length of stay in the hospital, and more importantly, rate of infection in these patients. My dear class of 2027, lifelong learning and education, adapting to new technology, is the fundamental basis to be a good physician and delivering high-quality care. My advice, never stop learning. The last of the 6 standards is system-based practice, and that's more complicated. In this standard, you, the class of 2027, are to learn how you can help your patients and their families navigate the intricacies of our complex healthcare system. Since the implementation of Medicare Act in 1965, our elders have one of the best healthcare systems in the world. Implementation of Affordable Care in 2010, also known as Obamacare, has provided over 30 million people with health insurance in this country. Despite this progress, millions of our fellow citizens remain without health insurance. High cost of drugs, lack of affordable long-term care are serious issues patients deal with every day. Class of 2027, none of these problems will be resolved by the time you graduate. Educate yourself in the complexities of our healthcare, look for solutions, and help your patient navigate these challenges. As I conclude, class of 2027, sitting here today might seem like a long road ahead through 4 years of medical school, but believe me, it will fly by incredibly quickly. It is easy to focus only on schoolwork when there is always an exam around the corner. Find time for hobbies, family, and friends. Build a support system around you of family, friends, and classmates that you can lean on when times are difficult. And believe me, there will be difficult times. Lastly, have fun. These will be the best 4 years of your life. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chowdhury. Well, now the moment you, your families, and all of us have been waiting for has arrived. We will now proceed with investing and donning your coats. Investors, please take your place on the stage as I call your names. Dr. Racklin, Dr. Giamelli, Dr. Alejandro, Dr. Chirugi, Dr. Pravitz, Dr. Garber, Dr. Hurwitz, Dr. McTeer Martin, Dr. Zelazny, and Dr. Esprinio. Audience, I'm going to ask you that you hold your applause until all the students in each group have been called and have donned their coats. Courtney Abriano. Elizabeth Abraham. Robert Abrahams. Richard Adam. Mariam Ahmed. Jafar Ali. Yotam Ashkenazi. Zaryab Aziz. Isabella Bailey. Nathan Barnett. Investors, coat your student doctors. Okay, students, exit to the side. Have your seats. Thank you. Exit stage left. Yes, thank you. They want their glory. Vincent Basso. Ariel Joshi, Bachelor. James Beck. Raphael Bienenstock. Matthew Blacker. Jessica Bloom. Adam Budahana. Nadia Briones. Brian Brito Sanchez. Tasfia Bushra. Investors, coat your student doctors. There you go. Marvin Campos. Alice Catalano. Ryan Chan. Nikki Chatty. Alejandra Travaria. Emily Chen. Ariel Chen. Natalie Chipman. Benjamin Cohen. Uno más. Danielle Colasaco. Investors, coat your student doctors. Okay. Carry on. Alexa Gail Kalinko. Yoramis Corrales. Gabrielle Diane. Alyssa Cortez. Cameron Donashavar. Anthony Deluxe. Lydia Danuka. Rahi Desai. Deepika Dilip. Kelsey Douglas. Investors, coat your student doctors. Carry on, carry on. Anna Icano. Lauren Escoriza de la Torre. Stephen Everett. Roni Farkash. Mary Fatehi. Samuel Fatehi. Ilana Feldman. Alec Fernandez Morales. Kelly Fisher. Lauren Fleschner. Investors, coat your student doctors. Okay, carry on, carry on. Isaac Flores. Keelan Foley. Hannah Fruitman. Jessica Guy. Joshua Garelick. Rahi Gassasa. Cassidy Go. Agnes Goldrich. Ernesto Gonzalez. Amar Gopal. Investors, coat your student doctors. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Peter Goralski. Sienna Gorin. Norohuda Guda. Stephen Greenberger. Nahali Gupta. Simone Haji. Isabella Hainsworth. Amy Howe. Thomas Hafuli. Mikhail Hizami. Investors, coat your student doctors. Carry on. Kyla Holbrook. Dangkun Hang. Su Tui. Michael Huang. Andy Zhang. Sharon John. Philip Jordash. Amber Jordan. Ahmed Kamhawi. Aditya Kanchara. Investors, coat your student doctors. Here we go. Benjamin Kang. Allegra Keeler. Rafe Khan. Nermeen Kidwai. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ji-Hyun Celine Kim. Adam Kiss. Sophia Kling. Kayla Koffler. Andrew Corman. Eugenia Cronenberg. Okay. Jacqueline Cumble. Investors, quote your student doctors. Okay, thank you, investors. We're going to call up group 2. Dr. Hutchison, Dr. Esprinio, Dr. Solomon, Dr. Zelazny, Dr. Ludmer, Dr. Racklin, Dr. Salcedo, Dr. Sponknabel, Dr. Bierman, and Dr. Garrick. Please approach the stage front. Joshua Lee. Hyung Lee. Justin Levin. Douglas Levy. Moshe Levy. Sebastian Lieberman. Alexandra Legai. Dorothy Liu. William Liu. Ying Liu. Investors, quote your student doctors. Dr. Etienne, will you take the stage? They're going to hand it to you.
Isaac Lopez. Ryan Mack. Aliza Makovsky. Aryan Malhotra. Sauda Mansour. Valentin Marchenko. Kenna Martin. John Masha. Asmita Mathukumar. Logan McPherson. Investors, please quote your students, doctors. Exit stage left. All right. Kona Menyanga. Nadav Michael. Daniel Mirtzai. Tyler Monteros. Gemma Morano. Samuel Mordachayev. Cyrus Murasik. Linda Msinjali. Kelsey Murray. Ishwari Murthy. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Exit stage left. Noor Naeem. Nicholas Nazaro. Nisa Nelson. Tara Nichols. Chidiade Ense. Christine Own. Osric Pamen Omubode. Tamid Opi. Oluwashewun Orenuga. Ethan Parisier. Investors, coat your student doctors. Exit stage left. Hungshik Park. Aiden Pelig. Adrian Perez. Kimberly Poxtis. Olivia Prissy. Sharon Ra. Sulwa Rahil. Faryal Rahman. Tashpal Ramdas. Archak Ranjan. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Exit stage left. Andre Rastegar. Jessica Raviv. Timothy Rabankos. Jody Reno. Anika Reno. Margot Richards. Gabriela Rodriguez. Andrew Romano. Caitlin Ross. Gregory Sable. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Exit stage left. Krishna Saraf. Manuel Sargent. Akimi Sasaki. Jared Sasaki. Bennett Schneier. Atara Schulhoff. Alyssa Semmelman. Sasha Severin. Sonali Sharma. Eliza Sherman Daniels. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Exit stage left. We'll mix it up later. Let's say go to the right. Haley Schiff. Benjamin Schwartzman. Ree C. Sherry Simkovic. Kira Singh. Nethik Singh. Yen Ping Sung. Mugil Sriram Venugopal. Avi Stern. Xavion Stinson. Investors, please quote your student doctors. Exit stage left. Got it. Michelle Stratford. Shira Subar. Sammy Syed. Samuel Schick. Jeffrey Tang. Joanna Tao. Paul Teng. Lauren Tettelbaum. Isaac Thorman. Ashima Tawari. Investors, please quote your student doctors. Exit stage left. Yosef Toby. Noel Tomi. Wenzi Tseng. Nanika Vadera. Isha Verma. Laura Vieira. Rachel Villari. Alyssa Walters. Amara Wahid. Lucy Wang. Investors, please quote your student doctors. Exit stage left. Denusha Wania Rachige. Madison Weckerly. Jason Weeks. Jessica Williamson. Ben Wu. Isabella Shu. Jenny Yang. Vincent Young. Chelsea Yang Sheng. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Oh, Elizabeth, you get that one? Elizabeth York. All right. Exit stage left. Bye. How you? William Zhang. Amber Zhao. Gloria Zhao. Harley Zhou. Elvan Zialon. That's it. Investors, please coat your student doctors. And investors, you may be seated. Thank you for your service.
Sorry for that little interlude. Okay, so it's my pleasure now to announce the 2027 legacies who will be vested by their alumni and faculty family members. Joseph Anabi. Jacqueline Contento. Reed Feza. Kara Zhang. Lauren Kan. Nermeen Kidway. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Very nice, very nice. Olena Coker. Alyssa Lee. Edward Rajasingham. Patrick Ryan. Balpreet Sasson. Benjamin Schulhoff. Katerina Slinchenkova. Siobhan Waller. Investors, please coat your student doctors. Very nice. Simon says off the stage. Okay, let's go. Please join me in congratulating the members of the class of 2027. Very nice. Okay, very nice. I ask that Professor Lila Kajedin, Director of Medical Ethics and the Humanities, come forward to the podium to provide her remarks for the class of 2027 oath.
Good morning and welcome to the class of 2027 and to your friends, families, and supporters on this special day. The process of writing the student oath is a cherished one here at New York Medical College, and I am grateful to have been involved in this process with Dr. Etienne over the past several years. Dr. Etienne and I meet with the students throughout the week leading up to the white coat ceremony to help guide the process, but the oath is written entirely by the students themselves. This week, 22 generous and committed students volunteered to take part in drafting the oath for the class of 2027, determined and committed to identifying the values, goals, principles, and hopes that they wish to adhere to during their time here at New York Medical College and hopefully beyond. Amidst the busy orientation schedule, these students met daily and finalized this oath on Wednesday, ready to share it with their classmates. This group of students challenged one another, worked respectfully, and with passion and heart to author an oath reflective of their commitments as they embark upon their medical studies. This oath is meant to be a guiding light for each and every one of you throughout your 4 years of medical school. And it is my hope, dear students, that you return to these words throughout your studies and that it serves as a sort of compass for you, a guiding light penned entirely by you. Congratulations.
At this time, I ask the following students to please rise. Valentin Marchenko, Yenping Sung, Alyssa Lee, Lena Msinjali, Amber Jordan, Emily Chen, Adam Kiss, Balpreet Sasson, Vincent Young, Aliza Makovsky, Jessica Williamson, Sulwa Rahil, Joanna Tao, Simon Haji, Mugil Suramvenugopal, Sherry Simkovic, Allegra Keeler, Ji-hyun Kim, Isabella Hainsworth, Nadia Briones, Sonali Sharma, and Ryan Chan. And the rest of the class, no, that was it. And the other three, no. This is the core team of students who worked on preparing the oath that they and their classmates will recite to commemorate their entry into medical school and the medical profession. Please give these medical students a round of applause. I now ask all members of the class of 2027 to rise, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. As a member of the New York Medical College class of 2027, I accept the responsibility and privilege that donning this white coat bestows.
I accept the responsibility and privilege that donning this white coat bestows.
I pledge to embrace the discomfort of change.
I pledge to embrace the discomfort of change.
To grow past hardships.
To grow past hardships.
And to always remember why I began this journey. I will build my medical education on the wisdom of my teachers.
I will build my medical education on the wisdom of my teachers.
Grounded in the strong foundations of scientific evidence.
Grounded in the strong foundations of scientific evidence.
I pledge to be brave.
I pledge to be brave.
Remain curious.
Remain curious.
And maintain the humility to learn from every encounter.
And maintain the humility to learn from every encounter.
I vow to listen to the unheard.
I vow to listen to the unheard.
And advocate for the vulnerable.
And advocate for the vulnerable.
To accord all humans dignity and respect.
To accord all humans dignity and respect.
To accept and cherish their differences. I pledge to champion just laws.
I pledge to champion just laws.
Challenge societal inequities.
Challenge societal inequities.
And speak out when I witness injustice.
And speak out when I witness injustice.
I vow to work in my patient's best interests.
I vow to work in my patient's best interests.
And to hold sacred each individual's autonomy in mind, body, and spirit.
And to hold sacred each individual's autonomy in mind, body, and spirit.
I vow to treat the person,
I vow to treat the person,
not merely their disease.
not merely their disease.
And to remember that no amount of medical knowledge
And to remember that no amount of medical knowledge
will replace lived experience.
will replace lived experience.
I will remain steadfast in sharpening my skills.
I will remain steadfast in sharpening my skills.
I will promote the success of my peers and colleagues.
I will promote the success of my peers and colleagues.
And I will pass hard-won lessons onto future generations.
And I will pass hard-won lessons onto future generations.
I vow to nurture myself
I vow to nurture myself
while fostering a sense of community,
while fostering a sense of community,
both within and beyond the classroom.
both within and beyond the classroom.
To myself, my peers, my mentors, my loved ones, and my patients,
To myself, my peers, my mentors, my loved ones, and my patients.
may this white coat serve as a symbol of my dedication to these tenets of medicine.
May this white coat serve as a symbol of my dedication to these tenets of medicine.
You may put your hands down. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2027. You may be seated.
I would now like to invite Dr. Matthew Pravitz, Professor Emeritus, to provide closing remarks.
Whenever there's a large assembly like this morning, or people who get together for an event, usually there's no need to explain what happened. It's sort of like, let's say, at the end of a tennis match or a Puccini opera or a high school football game. You know who captured the hand of the fair maiden, and you know who won the game. But at today's assembly, I'd like to point something out to you that maybe you missed. Every single person here knows one of these eager young women or men. Everyone here. You know them as they grew up, and some of them you've known from the very beginning of their life. At one time, you made decisions for them because they couldn't. They were unfamiliar with life functional choices completely. And then they say, "Leave me alone. I can do this all myself." That's the 5-year-old talking. They're quick learners. And here they sit a decade and a half later. This is the obvious part. You didn't miss it. Somewhere along the line, they got it into their head that they wanted to be a doctor. And you may have thought, well, let them try. They'll change their mind when they grow up. But here they sit. They didn't give up. This is obvious, and you didn't miss it. In 3 days, these people will make their first attempts to understand disease and treatment, and they'll start wrestling with micromechanics of cells and tissues and evidence-based medicine. They'll begin honing their skills of physical examination and clinical reasoning. This is a truism. You know this, and this is just one of those obvious things. So here, at the conclusion of this assembly, other than the new crisp white coat that they wear, they look the same, don't they? But here's what we may have missed, especially if this is your first experience of an investiture of the white coats. Did you notice one little thing about this is that they had the coat placed on them. They didn't accept it and put it on themselves. People who are responsible for them put it on them. You just heard the oath that they swore in the presence of everyone here. This is no simple promise. This is no casual vow. This is important stuff. They promise to be a person who will perform the distinctive activities of being a medical student, and they swore that they were going to do it well. We heard it. And if they do, they become what Aristotle would have called them. They call them the virtuous medical student. And if they don't, they're not. This is what we know. This is the truism. And this is what you may have missed. They look the same, but there's something powerfully different with them now. There's an ontological difference. Starting today, people expect things from them. not just their professors. Oh, they'll be working with mannequins and fellow students and professional actors. That's a different thing. But in the not too distant future, they will have authentic people sitting on an examining table in front of them or lying in the bed. And those people that are lying on that table or sitting on the bed, they expect something from these people. They expect that they're competent. And it's more than being knowledgeable. We heard some of the previous speakers. Because quite frankly, anyone can learn medical facts or statistics or bones or bugs. But there's very few people who have the wisdom that they can also practice the art of medicine. That's what they're all about. After a long day of treating their patients in the clinic, not just a few of them report after they come back with a wrinkled white coat and a rolled up stethoscope in their pocket. They say they're humbled by the complete strangers that they just met. Even though there are people overlooking them and watching what they're doing and how they're performing things. And these patients look at them with expectation as well as respect, even though they're being supervised. They see there's something different about them. And that's what's so important about today. And many of the students will start mull over about the day down the line when there won't be somebody watching them. Then they'll be alone with their patient. This is what we may have missed during this assembly. We missed the totality of the person who still looks the same but is different from this moment on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look in the face of the person that you came for today. Take a look. You can see them wherever you're sitting there. This young man or woman, this is serious. This young man or woman will be someone who the rest of the world will hold in esteem. This person is someone whose skilled hands will bestow healing. And that person that you're looking at right now is someone on whose broad shoulders people will lean for comfort and consolation. Can you imagine? And there's these people here that you're looking at, whose ears will listen to unleashed feelings and deep secrets. And the only reason people will unleash those feelings and those secrets is because they will never, ever, ever tell it to anyone. It's nobody else's business. But they hear it. So on the surface today, yes, it's a time for celebration and congratulations. We know that. But it's also a time for encouragement of these medical students, these young student doctors, that they carry out the elements of that oath that we just heard. And they carry it out and do it well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pravitz. Now let's have another round of applause for the class of 2027. Faculty, administration, parents, guests, and students, the white coat ceremony has concluded. Please remain in your seats until the stage party and the class of 2027 have completed the recessional. Once again, congratulations.
I know, right? Good luck to the Mets. I think we did better than last year. Oh. It was great.